Whether you are young or old, I have come to tell you that you were born to be a leader, and we need you to discover your leadership. I believe that every human being was born to lead. I am convinced that no human came to earth to be a slave or to be a servant of another human. I am convinced with all my might that no human was created by God to be a second-class human or a second-class citizen. The fact that you have difficulty believing that every human cannot be a leader because someone has to follow is the reason why most of us don't achieve our full leadership potential. I believe everyone was created by God to be a leader, but not over people. I want to make a few statements about leadership. Whether you are young or old, I have come to tell you that you were born to be a leader, and we need you to discover your leadership. Why? Because nothing happens without leadership. Secondly, nothing changes without leadership. If leadership does not emerge, the world will remain the way it is. Thirdly, nothing develops without leadership. Nothing improves without leadership. Fifth, nothing is corrected without leadership. If something is going wrong in your home, in your community, in your nation, then leadership is necessary to correct it. Most of the time, religious people are useless because they spend too much time praying and no time acting. And number 6, nothing advances without leadership. Nothing just happens. Vision qualifies leaders. Vision is more important than a title. Vision is more important than a position. The Bible says without a vision, the people perish. So vision is more important than the leader. You were born to fulfill a purpose. You are not an experiment. You came to earth to fulfill an assignment. You didn't come to earth just to make a living. You came to earth to make a difference. So I have come into your life for these few moments to tell you, stop working for a salary and start working for an assignment. We know what it is to be treated as second-class citizens. We know what it is to not have access to education. We know what it is to be told that our skin color restricts our advancement in life. We know what it feels like to be called ignorant and half-breed monkeys. I lived in that. I was born in 1954 in the colony. I know what it is to be mentally damaged by segregation and racism. I'm not bitter, I'm just realist. I know what it is to mentally battle with the idea that I was not equal to other people. I overcame that only through a revelation. What is leadership? Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, birthed by a conviction, which is produced by a sense of purpose. I will repeat, leadership is very complicated and yet very simple. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, birthed from a conviction, which is produced by a sense of purpose. In other words, you were born to be a leader, but you will have to go through the process of becoming the great leader you were born to be. And the process requires that you follow a specific experience. To become a true leader, you must first discover your purpose. And your purpose then produces in you a sense of conviction, That conviction begins to show up in pictures you call vision. That vision gives you a passion to pursue a future that is better than the present. And that passion is what inspires other people, which causes you to influence them by your passion. And they are able to follow you because they believe that you are willing to die for what you are pursuing. So what we call leadership, in most cases, is not leadership. It is simply glorified management. Notice this definition specifically states that leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration. Inspiration is the opposite of manipulation. True leaders never manipulate, they inspire. Why do we so admire Mr. Nelson Mandela? He never asked you to follow him, but we are inspired by his passion, for his conviction, based on his purpose for his country. Why do we admire Martin Luther King Jr.? He never asked us to follow him, but we are inspired by his passion, based on his conviction, driven by his sense of purpose for his people. Why do we admire Mahatma Gandhi? Because we are inspired by his passion, based on his conviction, dedicated to his sense of purpose for his people. Why do we admire Mother Teresa? Because we are inspired by this young lady's passion, dedicated by her conviction for the people on the streets who are poor. People who are doing nothing need many titles. Let me say it again. People who are ineffective and doing nothing need many titles. The more effective you become as a leader, the less titles you need. The more successful you are as a leader, the less titles you need. The greater you become, the less names you need. Leadership is not about titles. Jesus Christ was born in a cave. His first crib was an animal trough. And yet today he rules the universe. It doesn't matter where you were born. It's who was born in that place. You were born in that place. A great person was born in that place. Clap your hands for being born in this great country. Something that leadership has to do with some qualities of leadership, or the manifestation of intellect. Have you noticed that people with PhDs always work for people who ain't got none? People who got master's degrees and PhDs always work for those who don't have any. Because leadership is not about intellectual advancement. Some of the greatest leaders in the world never finished college, dropped out of school. In other words, people who are in leadership are not there because of intellect. They're there because they discovered a purpose and a passion and a dream. What inspires you? Leadership does not mean superior intellect. In other words, true leaders is not about the race that you're from or the class that you're from. Everyone in this room is a great leader trapped in a follower. And my passion is to bring that leader out, hidden in that follower. Every woman in here is an awesome woman. Every man in here is a great world changer. But you have to believe that yourself. I am here to attack your belief system, because until your mind changes, you will never change. And much of what you believe is not true, because both of us as people have been products of colonialism, which have brainwashed us to believe that we are not equal to everybody else in capability and potential and value. And we are historically struggling with that still. Wearing a crown does not change your mind. It exposes your mentality. A position does not change disposition. A title does not change mentality. That's why your way of thinking, your philosophy will manifest what kind of leader you will be. How you think affects the people. So Solomon also wrote this: as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You cannot rise above your belief system. You cannot rise above your convictions of your mental agreement with yourself. You cannot rise above what you consider to be true. And that's why in order for you to change, you must change your thinking. This is why Proverbs 23 is so important. He says, for as a man thinking in his heart, so is he. The word heart actually means your subconscious mind. It means your human hard drive. It's where you hide the things you believe to be true. Your heart is your center of belief. And every human has a center of belief. There are things you believe about yourself that you got from other people, and it may not be true. Wearing a necktie doesn't change your mentality. It exposes it. My question is, what do you believe about yourself? And where did you get that belief from? I wonder who you are. You are a leader trapped in a follower under other people's opinions. And that's why I don't trust any human's opinions of me. Nobody, including yours. I wouldn't give you the privilege of telling me who I am. I know who I am. Let God be true and every man a liar. Sit up straight and think about who you are. What they told you in school was wrong. What they taught you in high school about you is wrong. No one knows a product like the manufacturer, and God created you. Only He knows who you are. Inside of you, there's a leader trapped.